It's been a long time coming. I got my pumpkin cup, a little beverage. You can't see the pumpkins very well because it's a dark beverage, but I promise, it is very cute. Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's been a very long time since I said that. It feels really weird, feels unnatural, but we are moving along and we are learning as we go. So I decided an hour ago that I'm now in my YouTube comeback era. I've tried a couple times this past year, twice to be exact, to be in my YouTube comeback era, but I feel like this time, it's gonna stick. It's gonna stick. If you're new here, which I'm assuming you are, my name is Paulina. I'm just a girl in my 20s. I'm an environmental engineering student, and I like to read, have fun, and pick up new hobbies every once in a while. Right now I'm into running. I'm usually into gym and some form of movement. I'm really into reading. Yeah, I'm really into the game Stardew Valley. So, you know. Oh, I forgot one of the most interesting things about me. And lastly, I also do a podcast called In Our 20s with my best friend. If you guys want to check that out. We are just two girls in our 20s living in the 2020s. As you know, just talking about whatever the hell we want. So, let's get into this video. Alright, so if there's one thing I'm good at, that is buying books. Not necessarily reading books, definitely buying them. So I actually counted my books a while ago, and I think I read like a whopping 20% of the books I own, which is a little embarrassing. But it does make me feel better knowing I just have a lot of books. So I'm trying to work on that, okay? Really want to start checking off the books I own and maybe take a pause at buying books. But before we do that, let me show you the books I recently bought, because I recently bought a whole ton of books. So as you can tell by the vibe, these books are thrillers and fall Halloween coded kind of books, kind of vibe. And that's why we're here today. That's what we're here for. Fall is my favorite month, and it is the best month. You can find me on it. And one of the best parts about fall is reading fall kinds of books. So we have a lovely stack of books here. And 9 books to be exact. Let's go over them. So the first book I wanted to show y'all and kind of get out of the way because it is not a thriller Halloween kind of book. It is also the only self-help book in my pile. So that is Dopamine Nation by Dr. Anna Lembke. I'm not sure how to pronounce that correctly. So my best friend read this book and was absolutely obsessed, and she spoke so highly of it that I had to go and pick up a copy myself. So this book is essentially about pleasure and pain and how to find the balance in between. The cool thing is this is actually written by a psychiatrist who studies this in her career. So I feel like it's pretty credible. Pretty much the book is about how in current society we're relentlessly pursuing pleasure and how that's eventually going to lead to pain. It has a 3.59 stars on Storygraph. 2% of people who read the book rated this as a funny book, which I don't know why they did that, but okay. So I'm excited to read this book and then analyze everything I do. I love myself a good self-help book. My first thriller on the list is Local Woman Missing, and I saw someone recommend this as on TikTok as one of their favorite thrillers ever, and that sold me. I immediately went and bought this. So pretty much this book is about a mom and a daughter who go missing, and then 11 years later the daughter shows up randomly. Everyone wants to know what happened, and they're shocked to find out what did. It has a 4.02 star review on Storygraph. It has a 90% mysterious rating. So I'm so excited. You always know when a thriller book has this kind of cover, you know it's going to be a good book. Like the mixture of like the trees, the kind of folklore-esque background, the big text in the middle. Kind of looks like it was thrown together on Canva. You can always rely heavily on these books. This is one of the books I'm most excited for, and that is The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I love Riley Sager. Well, actually, I say I love Riley Sager, but I've only ever read one of his books, and that's The House Across the Lake. But it is one of my favorite books. If you haven't read it, highly recommend it. And so this is his new 2023 release, and they've actually already started. I'm 100 pages in. It's about this murder, this crazy murder that happened in 1929 where allegedly this girl killed both her parents and then hung her sister. And there was not enough evidence to incriminate or arrest this girl. In present day time, not present day, in 1983 is when the book takes place. The main character, Kit, is a caregiver and arrives at the home to care for now 71-year-old Lenora, who was suspected of killing her whole family pretty much. And then one night, Lenora decides that and so this whole time, Lenora wouldn't tell anyone wouldn't tell anyone what happened. No one really knew. And again, there's not enough information to incriminate her. And so one day she decides that it's time for her to tell everything. She tells Kit that she wants to tell her everything. There's just like something about Riley Sager, again, from my one book knowledge, I just think it's so good. It's so good. And again, 100 pages in, I just can't get enough. It's really spooky, like it's kind of scary, and I was reading super late last night and I was like, oh man, I have to start reading this now or I am gonna have nightmares. When I closed this book and went to bed, I was like trying to think of something other than the book so I don't dream about a family massacre in my sleep. So, love it. Then I got the Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. I actually saw this in the exact same video as the local woman missing, same TikTok, don't remember the person. This book is less of a thriller and more of a murder mystery. Pretty much this book is about these 4 friends who meet up weekly and discuss unsolved crimes together, and they call themselves the Thursday Murder Club. Someone in their town winds up dead, and so these 4 senior citizens are like, wow, this is like our chance. This is our chance to solve a mystery. So, and then more bodies start showing up. And so this club, this group, is racing against the clock to try to find the killer. How cute. I also think the cover's so cute with this like wolf fox situation. All right, next I got 3 classics because Indigo typically does this thing like 3 books for $10 and they're all classics. And these are all thriller, Halloween, spooky kind of stories. So the first one I obviously had to get was The Haunting of Hill House, which is a popular TV show on Netflix. I was not able to watch Haunting of Hill House. My friend really liked it, but she said it was really scary. Scarier than Blind Manor, which is what I watched, and Blind Manor really freaked me out, so I never ended up watching Hill House. I don't know why. I think I can read the book and be fine. I guess we'll see. It's so thin. I feel like I'll be through it so quickly. With this book, it's about this girl, Eleanor, who is invited to join a group of ghost hunters to assess the strange things happening at this house called the Hill House. And then what begins as a simple experiment soon turns into the stuff of nightmares. So the next book I got in the set of 3 was Camilla. This book was written actually 26 years before Dracula. So this is the original vampire story. This is pretty much about this wealthy English widower and his daughter who welcome in the young Camilla into their isolated Styrian castle. His daughter Laura is quickly charmed by Camilla's grace and beauty, and she thereafter falls victim to a strange, undefinable illness that threatens to take her life. Also, a very skinny book that makes me motivated to read this. The last book of the set of 3 is Casa Tales of Detection and Adventure by Edgar Allan Poe. This book actually gave birth to the genre of true crime, which I think is so interesting. So I'm so curious to read this and figure out what the tea is, figure out what was it about this book that made made the true crime genre come to life. I lied, not true crime. Crime fiction. Next book I got is The Murder of Mr Wickham. Also saw it in a TikTok. You can see a pattern here. I'm not gonna lie, I really wanted to buy this book purely for the cover. Look how pretty it is, right? But the fun thing about this book is it's perfect for fans of Jane Austen because it's all of the Jane Austen characters together. But what happens is that Mr. Knightley and Emma, they invite everyone to their house for a dinner party, or just a house party, I guess. And one of one of the guests ends up dead, and now everyone is a suspect and everyone needs to figure everything out, set aside their differences and figure out who is the murderer between them. It's giving the game Clue, which I love, so I'm sure I would love this one. Except I haven't read any of Jane Austen, even though I intend to, so maybe I should read some of her stuff before I read this book. We will decide later. Next book I got is The Chocolate Chip Cookie Murders. How cute is that? I saw this at Indigo and I just had to grab it because it sounds so cozy and so cute. And there is so many books in this series and they're all named after baked goods. That's insane. And not only that, a bunch of these were also adapted into movies. So I'm not going in with like a ton of expectations. I'm going in to have a fun time, to have like a cozy little fall read. But there's also recipes in here, like cookie recipes. How insane is that? And so this is the very first Hannah Swenson mystery, and they're all named after baked goods. Pretty much what happens, Hannah owns a bakery, and then her delivery man shows up dead with her chocolate chip cookies all over him. So she's determined to not let her cookies get a bad reputation, so she decides to track down the killer. I mean, how cute is that? This is perfect. Like, imagine a little crisp, rainy October day and you're sitting in your little cozy chair with a little candle, with your little tea, reading this book. Tell me something better. I'm waiting. Last book I picked up is The Ruthless Lady's Guide to Wizardry. I thrifted this and it was in my cart on the Indigo website for the longest time. So this book is about this petty con artist, Delaria, who is a partially educated witch who takes a job protecting a wealthy lady before she gets married. This job seems like something super easy money, not very hard, until things take a deadly turn. I mean, that sounds pretty interesting, if I don't say so myself. Also, the cover is really, really pretty. Lots of loud cars. So thank you guys so much for joining me for this video. Stick around, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!